Budgets are the means by which your mission, our mission, is achieved. It's a reflection, but the budget is a reflection of our values and priorities. It's not necessarily about a specific amount of money. Lots of people you talk to them on the street, well, tell me about budgeting. What's budgeting? And most people go straight to the dollars and cents. Obviously, it is about money, but first and foremost, it's about what do we care about, what are our priorities, and how are we going to spend our money. Budgeting is critical. It should be driven by our vision for the district. What do you want for your children? What matters to you as a board? What is more important? What is less important? There are districts that prioritize foreign language for elementary students. There are districts that prioritize the arts at a time when it's tough to do everything. There are a number of places where the arts have been reduced. Technology, what's important to you as a board relative to technology? What kind of experiences do you want your kids to have? How do you want instruction? How do you want learning opportunities to be created in this world that we're in? And what kind of investments are you going to have to make? What is the general approach you want to have as a board to personalized learning, and what are the implications of the budget? So the budget is the means by which your mission will be achieved, and it needs, the conversation about the budget has to be rooted deeply in what is your vision for your district, what do you want for your students. And obviously, the budget has to take into account the capacity of your community to pay. What is happening in the broader economy? What is happening for your citizens in your particular community? What does the cost per child in your community look like compared with others? Obviously, boards need to be paying attention to that at the same time that they're looking at how are they going to achieve the mission. Second major idea, why it's important that we have this discussion, the dollars must be managed well to be able to focus on mission. Boards have an obligation to taxpayers to effectively oversee finances. People want to know that you're paying attention. They also want to make sure that you're getting a good return. Those are things we've already said. When you have problems with money management and or oversight, it significantly undermines community credibility, it reduces community support, and it becomes a tremendous distraction from the mission. I was at a board meeting not too long ago where I observed a curriculum director do a fabulous presentation to the board about the wonderful changes in instruction that were being done, the sort of unleashing of a lot of creativity among the staff. It was just a great high energy presentation, and following her presentation, a couple people had positive comments, said, that's just terrific, we're glad to hear you're doing that. And then one board member spoke up and said, I'm sorry to throw a wet blanket on the conversation, but I have to tell you that I didn't hear anything this evening about management of the money. And if we don't, there had been a what I would call a surprise $500,000 deficit. And she said, if we don't get that under control, none of the rest of it's going to matter. And we as a board have to take this on with a vengeance. And I'm sorry to say that I have trouble really focusing on the important issues that you've just been talking about. It's just a good example of what happens in a community when there are money problems, and some of you, I'm sure, have experienced that. But it's critical, obviously, for boards to take the money issues very seriously. And last but not least, the third idea that I wanted to put out here before we switch over is that it's critical for boards to play their proper role in budgeting and finance. We've already talked about this, that this is the high-level role of the board, and the counterpart of that is that just to remember that the board is the overseer of education in a community, assuring the mission is fulfilled, but it is not the entity that actually operates the schools. And so when we're in the budgeting process, it's critical to always remember that you're not the micromanagers, you're the overseer and the people that lay out the big picture.